Ladies and gentlemen, Bound for Glory 2009 is in the record books, and what a pay per view it was. Out of the entire night, I have to say, there was only probably uh, one match that I really watched that I didn't like. There was another match that I didn't really watch, so I can't really comment on it, but did want to go ahead and get my review up for it. I did watch it, so figured I'd go ahead and do this. So let's get right into it. We opened the show, and personally, to me, this is the best way to open up the pay per views with the X Division guys because I feel that they really get the crowd into the pay per view. They really get the fans energized to see the rest of the show and all that. And they did that once again with the Ultimate X match here for the X Division title. We had Amazing Red versus Daniels versus Homicide versus Alex Shelley versus Chris Sabin versus Suicide. And we had quite a bit of jumping around in the match and all that, and some crazy spots where they fell from the scaffold and the rope and all that. Overall, Amazing Red retains the X Division title in a really good opener for the pay per view. I would have rather seen somebody like Daniels or even one of the Machine Guns win the X Division title in this match, but Amazing Red is still our X Division champion, which I'm all right with that. Our next match was the Knockouts Tag Title match with Sarita and Taylor Wilde versus the Beautiful People. LVE Lacey Von Erich ends up getting sent to the back, kicked from ringside, thrown out of the match, and to basically make it a fair match and all that. Short match, but overall it was good wrestling in this match. And as always, like I said, that's the reason I like the women's wrestling in TNA rather than WWE, because you actually get actual wrestling in the match. Taylor Wilde and Sarita retained the tag team titles, but this I have no doubt in my mind that it's not going to end here. They're probably going to continue to feud with the Beautiful People over these knockout tag titles. So we go from there. Next match, and this was a pretty good match itself too. And it really came with a end shocker, which I wasn't expecting. Eric Young is your new TNA Legends champion, and it was interesting. He pins Kevin Nash for one, so it's good to see them starting to put the younger guys over and starting to push them toward that main event spot and whatnot. Eric Young basically shoves Hernandez into Kevin Nash and causes Kevin Nash to go down, and he pins Kevin Nash that way. So we have Eric Young as our new Legend champion. No doubt we'll see a rematch between Eric Young and Kevin Nash. I don't know if it'll happen on Impact or not, but Eric Young and Kevin Nash will no doubt have a rematch for this TNA Legends Championship. But overall, it was another strong match on the pay-per-view card. One of my top three matches of the night comes up here. Well, top four. I'll give it top four. Next up is the tag team Metal Mayhem tag team match for the TNA and IWGP tag team titles. Basically, the way it worked out was whoever got the first set of titles won those, and whoever got the second set of titles basically you had to get both titles on in order to get win both titles. So our new IWGP tag team champions, which actually makes a lot of sense since they do a lot of wrestling over there. Team 3D and your new TNA tag team champions, which I'm not mad about. I'm kind of happy about it. British Invasion are your new TNA Tag Team Champions. They are heels, but I think it will add more if they feud with Beer Money. over these tag titles, or even the Motor City Machine Guns, for that matter. Or even Lethal Consequences, who's not been on TV that much, but had the pre. I didn't see the pre pay-per-view match, so. But British Invasion, with a little help from Big Rob Terry, gets the new TNA Tag Team Championships. And this was a good match, and we've seen a lot out of Scott Steiner that I wasn't expecting to see out of Scott Steiner, and I really think that is the best I've seen Scott Steiner wrestle in a match right there, and it was this was in my top 4 matches right here of my favorite matches. So next up we had ODB versus Terror vs Awesome Kong in the TNA Knockouts Championship. Apparently Randy Couture's wife got involved in this, and her and Terror's been having a big MMA dispute and all that. So ODB is still your Knockouts champion. This was the one I didn't really watch, but I've read and seen people's comments on it. So, yeah, right there. I think they're going to focus mainly on ODB versus Awesome Kong, especially how ODB kind of powered Kong from what I did see in the match. It was quite impressive, actually. But this was probably this was the match I didn't really watch, so I'm not really trying to comment on it much. So, the match that I probably did not like the most was Bobby Lashley versus Samoa Joe. Now, I like Samoa Joe's wrestling. Bobby Lashley's okay. I mean, he doesn't he doesn't entertain me a lot, but he's okay. But the match itself was just kind of, it wasn't all that great to me. This was probably the match that I would say was, I don't want to say worst match of the night, but it's not, it's down closer to the bottom of the pile. So Bobby Lashley getting the victory over Samoa Joe. The Monsters Ball match was one of the other ones in my top 4 matches here. Good match. We see Abyss pick up the victory. We see Daphne get chokeslammed through the cardboard barbed wire thing, and she looked like she really got hurt pretty bad. I'm hoping she's all right, but that was an impressive spot. Dr. Stevie gets Black Hole slammed into the thumbtacks, and Mick Foley gets, if I'm not mistaken, Mick Foley gets chokeslammed into the barbed wire board. So Abyss takes out everybody, and Abyss basically grabs Dr. Stevie's hand, counts 1, 2, 3. This is, like I said, this is probably one of my top 4 matches of the night. But after the match initially ended, I wasn't sure how I completely felt about it. So Abyss getting the victory over Mick Foley. Kurt Angle versus Matt Morgan is next, and this was my match of the night right here, was Kurt Angle versus Matt Morgan. And I mean, it kept you on the edge of your seat. You thought the match was going to end, and one of them would end up kicking out and all that. So, and especially the aftermatch happenings that happened with Kurt Angle giving, shaking Matt Morgan's hand and basically giving Matt Morgan the stage, so to say. This was just a really, really impressive match, and it showed why Matt Morgan is indeed one of the many, or one of the few future performers, great performers, main eventers in professional wrestling. So, Kurt Angle, however, gets the victory, but still he gives the stage to Matt Morgan, which kudos to that. And Sting versus AJ Styles was a good match. And then afterwards, AJ Styles gave the stage to Sting to make it, get on the mic and all that. Still don't know the outcome. Sting, of course, not defeating AJ Styles. AJ Styles retaining the title. I would have liked to seen AJ maybe get the victory using the Styles Clash rather than the body splash from the apron. But a victory is a victory nonetheless. But overall, I'd probably give the pay-per-view an 8 out of 10 total, and I don't really give ratings that often, but this is one of the few times where I am going to give it a rating. So, with that being said, that is my Bound for Glory review. Let me know your thoughts on the pay-per-view. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and edit this and get it uploaded. You guys have a great night. Take it easy, and peace out.